tinfoil hat.
Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know what I'm here to do. I'm here to
Rock!
thank you, Xavier Guerrero, friend of the people. God, I've been seeing We Don't Smoke the Same everywhere. It seems like it's really starting to get some traction.
Popping. We had some good guests. Fucking Steptones
Shit's
from
on fire.
Deftones. What more do you want? Some flat earth
Smoke
knowledge?
it and they will come.
Exactly. You
Smoke
said
it and they will come. On the ones and twos, his Braves are in the World Series. Jay Nice, Johnny Woodard.
Happy birthday, Sam.
Atlanta, Daddy's coming, huh?
Sam's birthday. It was the day this podcast comes out. Happy birthday, Sam.
Thank you, dude.
He's
Thank you.
43 years old.
I
just
wish.
turned 43.
You know you're old when your fake age is old.
The age on your fake ID.
Yeah, how old are you? 43. God, you're old. It's like, oh, I'm going to die alone, right? I'm very blessed. I'm so happy. 48 is an age. I guess if I didn't have you, the Swarm, in particular have my children the most, obviously my children, the Swarm, you guys, it would be a very hard birthday to take, but it is not. So I love you all very much, and thank you for coming on the journey. A lot of great stuff going on. I'm going to be gigging in a lot of places, okay? A lot of places. And all you have to do is go to samtripoli.com and grab all the dates, all right? I'm going to be at Skankfest next weekend. Very excited about being there. And then I'm going to be in Boise, Idaho. And then I'm going to be in Salt Lake. Grab your tickets now, man. Grab your tickets now. Come see me live. And then November 18th, I'm back in San Diego with a pack of killers. And I'm very excited about that. All those tickets are on samtripoli.com. Guess what else is on samtripoli.com? A link to where you can buy t-shirts. Just go to samtripoli.com, press tinfoilhattshirts.com, press the banner, and bam, it'll take you right there. You don't even have to type it in anymore. Just go to samtripoli.com, grab a t-shirt, support the show. We got we're the Lushat. We got what else we got? We got Disobey. We got shirts after shirts after
Only
shirts.
Conspiracies. That
Only
one was hard.
conspiracies.
Yes.
It's all there. It's a great way to support the show.
Hey,
And should I put the 500th on there?
I think you should.
Should I sell some 500 shirts
They're
on
great
there?
shirts. Johnny's on it. Come on.
Maybe, okay, I got a plan. Well, are the ones you sold, are they already printed? The ones you want to sell on there, are they already
Yeah,
printed?
they're printed.
Okay. I was going to say you could augment them in some way, make them a little different so that they aren't exactly.
No,
like,
but I
change some
think
colors. But you
because
told
the
those
truth
people,
of the
right?
matter is, it's like once these are sold out, I'm not going to make any more.
Yeah. Okay. But you told those people that got them there, right? That you weren't going to.
Yeah, I guess. So I'm just gonna come live, grab your tickets live. That's why I'm selling these t-shirts. Johnny, I'm a man of my word. Yes, I got a birthday cake on my head.
Might be some karma thing to that is what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
okay, good deal. Johnny, thank you. Johnny,
And-
by the way, I'm going to be releasing your
Your special?
set.
Your set?
Your set. People will see the greatness that was Johnny
dude.
Jay Nice Woodard.
It's hot.
Leasing it.
It's hot.
Yeah.
You know, I think we
Leasing
should
it.
that should go on Rockfin. You should only see that if you're a real Swarm member.
No, I think the world needs to see Johnny
Were you-
and his jokes that he tried to hurt our feelings, but we knew.
I was not trying to hurt you.
No,
That was just a cheat.
Nice,
I mean, come on, dude. I needed
It's
all
all
the help
good.
I could get.
Wait up, though.
I was
You never told us
drowning out
about
there.
Sam Radio Live.
What's that?
It's live. The Sam Tripoli Radio.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
They're
well, I
all
mean,
here. I didn't even know that was going on. I clicked. It's already
If you
playing
go to
one.
samtripoli.com, we have a running radio station. You can listen to all my shows all the time. Anything free, you can listen on a radio station.
It's on episode randomly.
Yeah.
274 with Jordan Maxwell.
Yeah. Oh,
It'll fucking throw you. Yeah.
That's a banger,
It's a
bro.
banger. The dope
That's
and
a banger.
the Pope and the Army of the Jesuits order.
That's a banger, bro.
Get it.
That's a banger. And listen, dude, I have a lot of free shows too. there's a lot of free episodes of audio out there for you for shows that are like, okay, so on Rockfin, right? All my premium content's on Rockfin. We got Zero, my spiritual podcast. We got Conspiracy Social Club with Brian Callen. We have Tinfoil Hat Premium. Yesterday, I set a record. I had 178 people watching me live on Rockfin.
On the
which
Tuesday
is my
Woo?
record.
The
on
Tuesday
a
Woo,
Tuesday
yep.
Woo day. Okay, and then I also do only conspiracies on there. And then we have when we can Broken Sim, early ones are on there. We have We Don't Smoke the Sames on there, and then I also have the Greatest of All Time Sports
We're
Talk.
gonna have to do one where we can do a deep dive on the NBA top 75. I think.
Oh,
we can
dude,
go
please!
deep on
I'm
that one.
losing it on that. All that there, $10. You get all that plus everybody that's on there: Whitney Webb, Jimmy Dore, Jason Burmese, The Last Vagabond. They're all killing it on there. Everybody on the Union Unwanted is basically on Rockfin, all for $10. And I'm building the comedy stuff. But I also have some shows that we're going to the vault. So old episodes, I want you to hear the show because I think it's so important. Zero is now available on wherever you listen to podcasts. Zero with Sam Tripoli. Check it out. It's available on Apple for sure. If you want to listen there, give me a 5-star review. Check it out. And then we also have Conspiracy Social Club available for free wherever you listen to podcasts.
Damn, you guys already hit almost 100, episode 100?
On what?
Conspiracy Social
Yeah,
Club?
tomorrow will be 100.
Yeah, you guys are 99. I see fucking Callen with the shirt off.
Yeah. One more to go. And so check it out. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, if you want to check on the new Broken Sim, we'll have that out.
Did that
this
just
week.
drop, bro?
No. We're gonna record one tonight.
We're going to record a couple tonight, bro.
stuffer.
We're going hard in the paint,
Yeah.
bro. We're going hard in the paint.
And I actually do have a live podcast going down. It's a We Don't Smoke the Same live show. This is in LA at the Arrowhead Brewery, and a couple tickets left at eventbrite.com, and you can go to my Instagram.
Where
hit
is
the bio. Covina.
And when?
Friday, live podcast, me and Knees on costume. We're gonna have a fucking costume contest. If you want to participate, get some free weed. Show up in a costume. We're hooking it up.
Weed and chicks galore.
Yes.
If you want one other free show, Punch Drunk Sports. If you want to hear Sam Tripoli, he was on
Check
this
out
week
Punch
talking
Drunk
sports.
Sports. I go deep on sports. Yeah. And by the way, we're gonna start doing some pay-per-view events. We just gotta work out that
I'm excited for that.
turning into a traveling circus.
Is it like, would we be going live on Rockfin?
No, I mean it's gonna be pay-per-view.
Okay.
I want people like, we're gonna do a big show with theatrics. The Vegas show really opened my mind, so I want to start doing it in Vegas. I mean, doing it all over the place. I'm thinking doing something in Austin, maybe going back to Boise, just finding all these fucking conspiracy theorists, doing big shows with them.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. The legend that is Nick Hinton is live in studio for this big show, and it's a great conversation. I
Great
thoroughly
guy.
enjoyed
Great
it.
guy. I really
Good
like
guy.
him. Yeah.
Goes deep, has unlocked all the levels, sees it. You got to unlock it to see it. Hope you enjoy the episode. Enjoy the show. Hope to see you in Boise. Hope to see you in Salt Lake and in San
We
Diego.
go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge.
All right, let's get into it. Super excited, dude. Super excited to have this next guest on. He's a man. He's a crusher on it. He was killing it on Twitter. I mean, just getting likes after. I was like, damn, this dude's killing it. And then he went like fucking quiet for a while. And we're like, where the fuck did this dude go? Well, we're about to find out. He's got 2 books that I'm super excited to read. I'm going to add it to the books that someday I will promise I will read because I just have so many of them. The first one's the Saturn Time Cube Simulation and the Aquarian Singularity. Please welcome Nick Hinton. How are you, brother?
Good, man. Thank you for having me.
Nick, very excited to finally meet face to face. You were one of the early guests on this show, and which was cool. And it was exciting, and I was like, this kid's really ahead of the game, dude. And so what's going on, bro? What's new?
Drove across the country to get here.
Just went across country, just on this kind of like vision quest.
Pretty much like a pilgrimage.
Just to figure out what life was about. You're a very deep young man.
Thank you.
You are in search of answers at a very young age. At your age, I was just hunting ass. That's all I was doing. That's all I really cared about. I got nothing in high school. I went crazy in college, and then that's all I cared about.
You're saying he's not getting.
I still do that.
Yeah,
No,
I think he is.
yeah, he's good looking
I
dude.
think,
I think he's getting ass.
I think you're getting it. I'm not saying you're not hunting ass. I mean, you wouldn't if you don't eat once in a while when you hunt what you kill, right? Then you go hungry. You look like you're fucking doing fine, bro. I didn't mean it like that at all. But I'm just saying you're very far along in the game. So I'm glad we can have a conversation right now. You know, for those who may not be familiar with you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Nicholas Hinton. About 10 years ago, I started getting super interested in the Saturn time cube theory.
At what age is this?
Like I was probably 18 or 19.
Unbelievable.
And yeah, so my birthday's coming up too. It's November 4th, so it'll be about 10 years.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, man. Happy birthday to you too.
Thank you. Dude. Thank you. Thank you.
And so yeah, about 10 years ago, I started studying the Saturn time cube stuff, and there wasn't a whole lot of information available at the time. And basically, you know, as time went on, I eventually got myself into college, and I was doing philosophy courses and stuff like that. And basically what I learned from philosophy classes was how to explain something. You know, I didn't really know how to explain any of these crazy thoughts that I had to people until I took philosophy courses, because basically I'll never forget when one teacher told me the simplest thing. It was, you know, whenever you're trying to do any of these essays and explain an idea, always assume that they know absolutely nothing about what you're talking about. So you start from the very basic and go all the way up, you know, to the very complex stuff, but you have to give them the whole context. And basically I wanted to write about the Saturn theory because there was no one really out there that had put it into like a coherent, you know, logical format where, you know, there's just all these memes, all these pictures of like, oh, hexagons on top of Saturn and stuff like that. So I decided that I wanted to just do that for fun. So I was already writing philosophy essays and stuff like that. So I just wanted to do one for myself on something I was actually super interested in. And then, you know, I started posting about it, and that's how it all happened.
What I find interesting is, so the more I do this show, the more I find out what is up is really down. Okay? So when you made a statement like the thing I learned from philosophy was I learned how to explain things, right? And to me, that is like super powerful, right? It's like super powerful. But all you hear about philosophy degrees is you just become a waiter, it's useless, you go nowhere with it, it's not tangible skill. Where does that fit into modern day? And to me, based on what you're saying, it sounds incredibly important. And it sounds like something we all need to do is to be able to explain our thoughts and our beliefs in a coherent way so that maybe we can reach more people.
Exactly, yeah. Jordan Peterson was also a big inspiration about how he pretty much talks about the power of the spoken word and just being able to get your ideas across a very, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but just eloquently, I guess. I don't know, just, you know, getting to the point so there's barely any room for misunderstanding, I guess. Because, you know, everything in this day and age right now is everyone takes things out of context and everyone's twisting words. So if you're able to explain something really well, yeah, I think that's like a superpower, basically.
I think it's also like if you can explain yourself really well and you've engaged in enough conversations that you can also anticipate resistance and you can kind of take bullets out of their gun as well. I think that's very important. And, you know, and I think that's what this show does well. I don't know what this show, why people love it. I'm so thankful that they do love it. And based on the feedback is that we're very open-minded, which is really what I want to do. I don't want to put my own shit onto whatever the conversation's going to be, you know, and this is translated to almost all parts of my life where I'm able to understand what a conversation is about, where it's going, anticipate where we're going to be in a little while, and deal with any kind of pushback that I have, which is very important, man. I mean, people can't communicate enough. And there's just a lot of, I think there's also a lot of people that just would rather be right than do right. And we're seeing a lot of that right now with the Dr. Fauci stuff, right? And all this stuff coming out, and there's still people supporting Dr. Fauci. But I also wonder if how much of this stuff coming out right now is, it seems deliberate, right? Like, not that like someone discovered anything, but it seems like there is a scripted assassination, a character assassination going on. Look what he did to puppies. Moved the needle a little bit, but obviously not enough. Now they're like orphans in New York, and they're like, is anybody upset yet?
They're trying to figure out which one really hurts.
I thought the puppy was.
I thought that was gonna get everybody. I was like, here comes PETA.
And PETA said nothing, which is like this big, real great moment in history that we're in, which is this great reveal that is going on about how like these things that we thought were idealistic really are just tools of these fucking energy vampires, right?
The true apocalypse. I mean, all the information coming out about the real nature of things, but like you said, I agree. I think it is all scripted. I think what they're doing is more divide and conquer techniques. They're basically, wedging the nation even farther apart. They're radicalizing even the people that used to be quiet and normal, just watching all of this stuff happen. They're like just waiting it out. Now they've managed to radicalize the right. I mean, there's always been radical right-wing people, but I think, they're really ramping up like the hate between both sides. And like for the conspiracy theorists, people like us, we're like, it's so obvious, and so it's like a loose harvest. It's so obvious to us, it gets super frustrating. It's like, I don't know how there's people that don't see what's going on, but.
Well, I think at this point it's just ego, right? I mean, first of all, I have family members that I love with all my heart, okay? But they just sit down. Like, I get shit from people when they're like, you're on your phone, bro, you're on your phone, as they're sitting watching CNN for hours on end, right? They're like, you're on your phone. And then you see pictures of, like, the, 1920s. Everyone's just buried in the newspapers. It's the same thing. Yes, I do enjoy going on the phone. I get that. But there's all different forms of that, right? And there's just a certain group of people that no matter what comes out, they can't question the official narrative because they've bought so much into it that at this point it's like they're all in.
It's all over their Facebook.
It's all over their Facebook.
Like, yeah, you can't come back from it. It's like, it kind of, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like those people that were super QAnoners, and they're still QAnon even though they don't want to go back, and they just feel like, I'm on this hill, so I might as well die on it because I'm gonna look stupid and that's how I feel, because I know people are like QAnon, and I'll show them the HBO documentary, and they're like, no, they won't even pay attention to it. I'm like, it's really good. You should check it out. And it's one of the things, like, they died on this hill, and they're willing to stick it out. So
I have my own opinions on Q, and I think it's sigil magic, dude.
Yeah.
I think they told us what was going on.
Have you watched that doc? The HBO one?
So here's what happened with HBO and me. Johnny broke me, okay? Johnny broke me with that Woody Allen doc where I was so sure that Woody Allen was completely and utterly guilty. And they started showing me the people that were behind the doc and all their history they had of basically not giving a shit about the truth, but just, again, dividing and conquering. Right?
Basically rounding up the right, yeah. And I think Q, honestly, is an AI. I think it was built in a quantum computer or something. I mean, I do think there's something to those timestamps and the weird predictions. And, yeah, I think it's like you're saying, it's a psychological operation, but I think there's something more to it where it was an AI. There's a bunch of movies that talk about like a trickster Q type character. Like, isn't Q in James Bond as well?
Is he? I don't know. Johnny's a nerd dork.
I think there's a Q in James Bond. There's a Q in Star Trek. There's a bunch of different Q characters where they're like time traveling tricksters and they just mess with people. But in the James Bond one, he's like this guy with advanced technology, and
I could see that too. I always go like, okay, if we take Alex Jones, right? If we go, everyone's like, Alex Jones, you hear people say, oh, he's a shill. I go, is everything, so does that mean everything he's saying is wrong? I mean, I understand you have to say enough to get credibility.
Right.
And that there's a little bit at the end, but what is he saying that's so wrong, that's so off? I know he has a blind spot when it comes to Israel, but what is he off on? So we should throw everything out because he doesn't want to talk about Israel because his girlfriend's Jewish and doesn't want, and I get not want to piss your girl off. I mean, imagine if you had $100 million empire and you couldn't even sleep in your own bed. And she's like, fuck you, sleep out there. You're like, I pay for it, sleep out there, right?
That's getting married.
Yeah, I mean, that's life.
Doesn't matter how much money you have. You might have to sleep outside.
Guys, I want to tell you about our friends at True Niagen. Okay, listen, some days, it's a real struggle, for sure. The good news, though, it's a lot less of those days ever since I found True Niagen. I love it. True Niagen helps fuel cell energy engines. And trust me, my engine needs some fueling, okay? Maintains cellular metabolism and even supports heart health. In a combination with healthy lifestyle with 13 published human clinical studies and backed by Nobel Prize winners. Dude, there's a bunch of Nobel Prize winners just shredding it out right there, right? Just getting, why can't I, imagine if I had a Nobel Peace Prize and I were shredded. I get all the ladies, okay?
All of them.
All of them. True Niagen is a supplement that's clinically proven to boost NAD levels, okay? The essentially coenzym, COENZYME, how do you say that?
Coenzyme?
Coenzyme, okay, coenzyme, I like that. Required for cellular energy repair. Since taking True Niagen, I have more resilience and it helps my muscle recovery, okay? I have more zest for life and more vitality. You want to add more vitality to your life? With True Niagen, okay? Right now, new customers can save 10% on their first purchase by going to TrueNiagen.com/tinfoil. Use the code tinfoil. That's TruNiagen.com/tinfoil. Code tinfoil to save 10% on your first purchase. That's TrueNiagen.com/tinfoil. Code tinfoil. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. So, Nick, you've been on this journey, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me about it. Tell me about everything because it's been, I was watching you and you were getting all this traction. I thought, man, this kid just is like, he's just knocking out of the ballpark, and I'm super happy for you. But, over time, you kind of disappeared. I'm like, where the fuck did he go? What's going on with him? And, I don't know if you want me to get in our conversation last night, but there was a bunch of it where it's like, I've been talking to some people and I was getting kind of concerned because, the old saying is, look, when you look into the abyss looks into you, right?
Yeah, there's definitely been... some stuff I don't want to get into just because it deals with people's personal lives and stuff like that too. But just really overwhelming synchronicities, really some supernatural things have happened. And and then all the attention too was overwhelming as well. So I just kind of wanted to take a break, take a step back and just focus on myself, I guess. I felt like, I had written almost every day for a year or maybe 2 years. I was putting out content every single week. It just kind of basically fried my brain a little bit, and I needed to, take a break and kind of explore the world too. I wanted to actually enjoy the fruits of my labor, go meet some of these people that I've connected with, not just have it be an online thing. I wanted it to translate into real life and take advantage of the opportunities I was getting because I don't know, the world, there's so much more to do and explore than just, obtaining knowledge. At a certain point, you got to put it to use. And so that's kind of what I was trying to do.
There's also something that I kind of came to the realization of when I started this whole thing, which was, what is the point of trying to save the world if you're miserable?
Right, yeah.
Right? And that was a big question I asked Alex Jones when he was on, because I remember he had a video in which he was talking about how he's just miserable. Mm-hmm. And it's just, this whole thing's made him miserable. And that really resonated with me. Because I go, dude, you're doing all this great work and then you're not happy. Right. You're so worried about everybody else. Mm-hmm. But you're not taking care of yourself. And that's why at that point, I very much leaned into observer, not participant.
Right.
I observe things. Now, I did work real hard with the anti-child sex trafficking marches that happened that got so fucking big. I was so happy. And the reason I got involved with that because I was really let down by all my friends in Hollywood, these female comics that were so about Me Too and then just freaking silent about pedophilia. And how I felt like they because they couldn't spin it into a showcase for comedy under diversity or more followers on Instagram. Because for me, dude, that is the source of real power in Hollywood. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's like the one thing you can't talk about. You can talk about any conspiracy you want, really, besides the pedophilia stuff. That's what, makes you a target. There's like a pattern with all of these great researchers, Tracy Twyman.
She's someone who I feel got really deep.
I think she went too deep, yeah.
She was dancing with darkness.
Right, yeah.
And getting staring into the abyss.
The Baphomet stuff, I'm just like, why? Why would you do that? Seems off, but
I want nothing to do with that, bro.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with that dark arts. I don't want to learn how to summon anything. I want to let anything in. I want to bask in the glory of God and the energy. And dude, I pray every morning. I write down a list. At the end of my list is make connection in God, do the work of the Lord. And that shit is visceral. I have a weird reaction just saying that. I'm like, oh man, it sounds so cheesy. But that's really where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's like a problem in the conspiracy community. Everyone thinks everything's fake. So you can't really bring up Jesus. But that's another pattern I noticed is towards the end of all these great researchers' lives, it seems like a lot of them turn back to God. They've been really confused their whole life and just trying to figure everything out, but it always just comes back to the simplest answer, which is just God. And I think that's why a lot of conspiracy theorists have trouble finding God or believing in God because it's too simple. It's just too simple. They want it to be some complex, crazy, decoded answer or whatever, but that's kind of what's been happening with me as well. And it's been hard for me to finish the third book because I had all these different conclusions. But now I'm pretty much being led, back to just prayer and stuff like that,
I talk about that all the time on the show, man. It's I don't know what happened in this kind of part of our conversation last night was just I don't know what the truth is because I know there's been psyops upon psyops upon psyops upon psyops. And back in the day, it was so much easier to manipulate people. I know it's easy now, but I think back then it was way easier.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot wrong with organized religion, and potentially even the Bible has been messed with and rewritten and all that stuff. I'm aware of. I do still think there's power in that book. I think there's power in all the spiritual scriptures, But for me, the synchronicities have led me to that's my version of spirituality, I guess. Just really weird stuff, random guy handing me a book all about this guy who was into magic, and his name was Merlin, and he turned his life over to God, and he started this church in Fayetteville, and this was around the time that I was in Fayetteville with the Bledsoe family, and this one psychic told me I was the reincarnation of Merlin's apprentice, and I was like, I don't know if I believe that. But it was still really weird, with getting handed that book and just weird stuff like that is what has. I think God knows my style.
When was Merlin around?
Huh?
When was Merlin around?
The Arthurian times.
But it started then there's
No, this wasn't Merlin the magician. This was just a guy named Merlin. The whole book is about a guy named Merlin, and he starts a church in Fayetteville. He's he's dabbling with magic. He turns his life over to God. But it's not like Merlin the magician. It was just the synchronicity was weird to me that I had just been told by this random psychic dude that I was a reincarnation of Merlin, and then I go meet Chris in Fayetteville. Chris tells me that Chris Bledsoe, for people who don't know, but Chris tells me that the weirdos at NASA and CIA, they've told him that he's the reincarnation of Merlin. So when I met him, I was like, well, I'm supposedly his apprentice, so this is kind of weird. And then the whole book thing happened, so it dives into my personal life, so I don't want to tell the whole thing, but it's weird.
It is weird, bro, and that's a lot of fucking pressure to come to be like, okay, well, is there something to this? Because if you start understanding the layers and the history and the simulation and the dimensions and all that stuff, you really start to being like, okay, maybe there's something to this stuff. And then it's like, how deep am I going to go? Do I want any of that? Do I want to be a part of that?
Right.
You know, and for me, it's like, I don't want any to do with any of that. Like, you know, Dana came to the live show and she was like, "You're like a cult leader." I go, I am the worst cult leader ever because I want nobody to follow me. I mean, like, I push Ronin all day. That's what it's all about. No masters, no lords. You're just your own fucking person, and you have your own little, and you take care of your family, and that's it. I don't want any of that pressure.
Yeah, but yet you're at the bar and you have a circle of people around you and Eddie Bravo listening to every word you guys say. I can see how we're not a call, obviously, but I can see how someone on the outside, like Dana, can show up and be like,
We
yo.
make that a shirt. We are not a cult.
I could see how Dana was just like, oh my God, they praised you guys. This guy, she would like, this guy came and bought all the t-shirts. And she's like, this is a cult. This isn't just they're past groupies.
Guys, I want to tell you about our friends at Ladder. That's right, ladderlife.com. Okay, Ladder is 100% digital. No doctors, no needles, no paperwork when you apply for a $3 million in coverage or less. And let me tell you, Daddy's getting life insurance, okay? I'm getting it. I'm going to use Ladder, okay? You just need a few minutes on a phone, laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out instantly if you're approved, okay? If you prefer to talk to a person, their team of licensed agents doesn't work on commission, so they'll help you and not upsell you, okay? No hidden fees, cancel at any time, get a full refund if you change your mind in 30 days, man. You don't get that anymore. This is good stuff right here. And Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're A+ rated by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So here's what we're going to do. All right, guys, I want you to do this. So go to ladderlife.com/tinfoil today to see if you are instantly approved. That's ladderlife.com/tinfoil. Ladderlife.com/tinfoil. Get it and win.
The paranoia and just wanting to get away for a while really started when I started researching the most, like, what I think is the most important topic ever, and it's called the Sentient World Simulation, and you can, I mean, it's a real thing. You can search it up. You
gotta spell it for him, please.
Sentient.
Can you grab me a water?
Can I have one? Oh, I have water.
Yeah, there you go.
But the Sentient World Simulation, I believe, was created by the Department of Defense and the University of Purdue. And basically what it is, it's this quantum computer that has a mirror model. It's creating a mirror model of the world in real time, updating constantly. So everything in there is exactly like this world. And they have their goal is to make 7 billion avatars. Every single person will have a digital doppelganger. And that's what they're using all of your data for. Like, you know, there's no agents per person that are just checking your phone history. But that's what they're doing, is they're using all of your preferences, your frequent locations, and they're recreating you inside the simulation. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's some avatar out there into some weird shit.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. Just go to the wiki real quick.
It's got to be this avatar. They're like, God, this is the bad one. Can we just tinker with his? Okay, he's a weirdo.
Yeah, I think they could do all sorts of stuff to you with the...
Bob, are you sure these numbers are right? There's no way this guy is on YouPorn this much.
I used to laugh so hard because Pornhub would give you medals and badges.
Oh, my God.
Right.
You look like a foreign
this thing?
dictator. You look like Castro, you know, with just all the ribbons.
I used to have a joke about how I was 11 level 39 dick wizard. What are we looking at? You guys look scared.
Yeah, the Sentient World Simulation is no joke.
Yeah, it's a video and everything about this shit. It's crazy.
And it's so there's a digital XG. Mm-hmm. Is he illegal in that thing too?
Am I illegal everywhere?
So
But yeah, if they really wanted to know where you're at, they wouldn't have to track your phone. They just type in "where's Sam" right now in the computer, and they would see where you're most likely at just based on your, they try and predict your patterns.
Really?
And map your mind. Yeah. This is all part of like the Blue Brain Project. I think that's what it's called. Started by Obama, or Blue Brain Initiative. They're trying to map human consciousness and basically control people with AI. That's that's my theory.
so what they could do is take this digital character of me and try to manipulate with different stimuluses and stuff.
So the Sentient World simulation, this is all factual, this is real, but where the conspiracy part comes in is I think since this thing is in a quantum computer, they want to try and quantumly entangle your real self with the digital self. And this is all goes into the transhumanist thing. But yeah, I think that once they have you merge with your digital avatar, they could just, go in the simulation and, oh, Nick thinks he's being abducted by a UFO. Nick thinks he's thinking this. Nick's seeing Bigfoot. But really, they're just, they can make you see or feel anything. They already have voice-to-skull technology. They already have certain frequencies from, like, radio tower. Like, you could search up on Scientific American right now. Alex Jones talked about it, that there's they can control people's minds through cell phone towers. But like I was saying, they have these frequencies that can actually, like, hurt you. Like, your skin will get hot or, you'll be itchy. Like, they can just mess with you in all sorts of different ways.
So I have weird feelings about all this, and I'm not saying it's not real.
This is like where the craziest conspiracy theorists talk about this, but I 100% believe in it now. I used to be really skeptical of all that stuff, but
Well, here's my whole thing. It is of my belief that they have these things. It's possible. I do believe in direct energy weapons. But my whole thing is like, if they have all this stuff, why don't they just come out and just lock us down? Why are they doing it incrementally?
this is the Fourth World War. It's a war on the mind. There is no actual physical battle going on. It's the war for the mind, and they are rolling it out right now. I believe. I think
Is that the metaverse? Have you heard of the
Yeah,
whole
the
metaverse?
metaverse. This is
that
part of that, yeah.
Facebook and all them are getting together to fuck around. Have you heard of the metaverse?
yeah,
Now, what is
augmented
that?
reality and smart cities. That all goes together.
Yeah, I mean they're supposed to be releasing some metaverse with Facebook and all this, and they're supposed to. It's like a new 5G type of thing, right? I don't know.
What
I haven't
is
really.
it?
I don't. I barely
It's just
even
like
know. Yeah.
the metaverse in general. I don't know about Facebook's one or any of that. Maybe that's new. But the metaverse in general is like the new world that is the digital world merged with the real world. So like in the future someday, what they tell us they want to do is, everything will be augmented reality, meaning you'll be able to interact with the environment digitally. Like, I don't know if we'll have like contact lenses that make us see advertisements or something, but we'll be able to interact with our entire environment, and the environment will be collecting data from us constantly because they want chips in us and all that nonsense. But
Now, my question is there a counter to this?
build our own breakaway civilization, I have no idea. Or at least, I mean, I do think there's little ways right now to overcome this, like the simulation that's trying to predict everyone and map them out. I think you can, change up your routine and be more spontaneous in life, and it makes it a little bit more difficult for them. Act authentically, act from the heart. Do things that are random. But yeah, like I said, I think they're rolling all this stuff out right now. I mean, COVID. If you flip the word backwards, it's Divik, which is, have you heard of the Divik box?
Yes.
So Divik means possessed by in Hebrew. 19 is AI. 1 is A, 9 is I. And I think, so I really think, so COVID-19 possessed by AI. I really think that all of this mRNA stuff is part of the, merging people with the simulation, which sounds crazy, but you can go on MIT right now and look up
Listen, it doesn't sound crazy on this show.
Okay.
You don't have to say that because
Yeah.
we live in Cuckoo Town, so we
You can
enjoy
search
that.
it up on MIT, paramagnetic nanoparticles delivered through vaccines. And then you can search up on MIT, how do we control someone's brain? And then they'll tell you, oh, you need paramagnetic nanoparticles merged with their DNA, or covalently bonded with their DNA. And then, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, the blue light, too, like the optogenetics. If you look into that, they've literally discovered how to, mind control mice with blue light. And what is everything surrounding us? Our computer screens, our cell phones. It's
As
all,
I look
it's
around,
all-
there's
it's all
blue lights
light.
all over this place.
And-
Johnny,
If you look at the chakra system, too, the third eye is the blue chakra. And I think what they're doing is, they're messing with our minds with the blue light, which sounds ridiculous, but I know you said it doesn't, but
It doesn't. It doesn't. So I'm just, I don't know, man. I just think there's a lot of manipulation going on, and I think that for all the darkness, there's also entities of light that push back on these things. I don't know. Maybe that's just me having hope porn, that we're gonna be able to beat these things. I mean, I just think that if we didn't have the power, and I could be completely wrong, it's like, I don't know if I could become a black pill. I don't know if I could do that. Because I
I don't know that it's healthy. Even if everything is hopeless, you're not going to do any good for anyone walking around like that.
Right? I just feel like I wouldn't do the show. If I one day came up and said, we're done. It's not, we're fucked. Then I think I would end the show.
Yeah, I would rather be like delusionally optimistic than like super intellectual and cynical all the time.
I think it's a horrible way to live your life.
Yeah.
And I have no problems with black pill people. We have them on all the time, and I enjoy them. But I have to run that through my prism of hope that we come out the other end. I don't know if we'll ever be like free of these parasites. I think
what would black pill you? Like, what would have to happen in like the United, like where you were like, you know what, dude, X, fuck Mondays, we ain't doing Mondays no more. It's over. We're sticking to broken.
That's a great question.
Because we've gone down the like some crazy shit has happened where I would have been like, okay, maybe Sam, this will black pill his ass. No, you're still very positive, which is great. But is there anything where you're like?
I think with God in the picture, it's impossible to be black pilled because like even in the Bible, it says like when you see all of this insane stuff happening, you're supposed to rejoice. Because it's supposed to increase your faith and know that it's all going according to plan still.
Yeah, man, I believe that as well. I think there's no reality. There's only perception, and what you focus on becomes your reality. And like when we go into like, hey, dude, they dropped a bomb on Hiroshima. That's how dark this shit gets. Then you start studying Hiroshima. You're like, well, if it's radioactive, why'd they move right back in? Then you start going, okay, none of this makes sense. Chernobyl goes nuts, right? I've never been to Chernobyl, but Chernobyl goes nuts to the point that people like do tours in hazmat suits, right? But I've been to Hiroshima, dude. I wasn't in a hazmat suit. I was just walking around.
How about Fukushima or Fukushima, the new one? No one died. They say no one died. Everyone's kicking it.
So it's like all this shit
makes no sense
that's out there, and they're just like, oh yeah, dude. I mean, the stuff out there is just so fucking insane, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. I keep hearing this shit forever. I do believe, to a point, they used direct energy weapons. So I mean, that kind of.
They admitted they exist at this point.
What?
They've admitted that they exist at this point. It's not like a conspiracy anymore.
Oh, it's a conspiracy. I mean, like, dude, for you and me, it's not.
Right. Well, no, they've said it on television. Talking about China has direct energy weapons and all this stuff. And you look into Havana syndrome, they'll tell you that, there's frequency weapons messing with people's minds. So a lot of these things, they're coming out as true. I mean, and then it could be double-layered conspiracy. Maybe it's just fear porn or whatever.
Well, that's my whole thing. What a great way to control us.
Yeah. With the nuke thing, I'm not super familiar with the conspiracy that they're fake. I've heard everyone say it. I've never looked into it. And I could see how they might be, but I do believe that there's been nuclear explosions and that they have to do it at certain dates and certain times. Like, have you ever, the Trinity site where they tested the nuclear bomb in I think it was New Mexico. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyways, it was like on the 33rd parallel. There's all this numerology that goes behind it. I was like, maybe these are rituals, Maybe.
Does numerology make you believe in assimilation even more?
Yeah, kind of. Honestly, what I think...
was New Mexico.
Oh, okay. What I think about numerology and stuff, to me, it doesn't matter if we're in a simulation or not. I think that the numerology is like proof to me that there's an ethereal realm or a spiritual realm where that's who's really pulling the strings. Like there's something beyond humans that are pulling the strings, affecting people's thought processes, making sure everything happens at a certain time, a very certain way. because yeah, I don't think people are that competent. Like I don't think the Illuminati is so competent that they can organize everything to the second. I think that there's spirits, tugging people certain directions.
I say it all the time on here, and Johnny, I don't know if you agree with me. I think you might
But
disagree.
it does seem like the source code of the simulation. It does.
But I think that's what these casinos use to determine spreads and all this shit on like who's gonna win, who's gonna lose, like all this numerology that's involved with it. Now, I'm not saying they don't use stats and stuff like that, but it seems so eerily, correct. Like how close it is.
Well, it's also wisdom of the masses, because they're always trying to make sure there are equal number of bets on either side of a line, so that they don't get hurt one way or the other, because they're just taking the vig, basically. They're taking the percentage above each bet that they get. So they want it to be 50 on one team and 50 on the other team. And there is, have you ever heard of wisdom of the masses? This idea that if you get enough people's response on anything, it's going to tend to be more accurate once you... And I think that some of that goes into setting those lines too, or at least when they start moving around.
Well, that's almost like perception creates reality. Whatever the majority believes becomes the truth.
So So if we're like Tom Brady is taking on the New Orleans Saints,
could be, dude,
and they put it at 7, and everybody goes, "Oh, Tom Brady's gonna score more than 7." Win by more than 7. That energy you think affects the game? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just because that makes sense to me.
It could be.
The way he's talking about it is like, let's say you ask 100 people how much this weighs. They'll round up all those numbers.
That's a classic example of it.
And while rounding it up, they'll get close enough to the right number. Someone will say 100 and one will say 1, but those numbers are irrelevant.
Or like jelly beans in a jar.
Yeah.
If you get enough responses and you average them, they're going to tend to be damn close to actually how many jelly beans are in the jar.
Pretty almost to the point. Like you'll be a couple numbers off.
Oh, so that's why the line moves up and down based on the action they're getting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ah. But that still seems like energy work to me.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Back to the numerology thing real quick, though. I had this one guy message me, and you never know who's, it could be a fake story or whatever, but this guy messaged me, and he told me that numerology, you can actually, like, turn questions. You can write out a question, and then you can turn the letters into numbers, and I don't know how it works, but he was telling me that there was some way to do this where you can ask a question, and then you add up the numbers, and you'll actually get an answer, and he was describing numerology as, like, the Google of reality. Like you just type in whatever you want, you can figure it out. And he said his grandpa did, and he had this huge book of how to do that. Because he was like asking me if I knew. I was like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. And he's like, my grandpa used to have this huge book, and he figured out how to use numerology to directly answer questions. And but he said he like destroyed the book or something. But I find that a really interesting idea that you could.
Is that like that guy with the? Remember that guy we had on that has that machine that he can ask questions to? Is that based on numerology, or is that based on energy fields or something? I can't remember.
He was an alchemist, wasn't he?
Alchemy.
Yeah.
Which is energy, right?
Okay. Interesting.
Well, I think the same thing we were talking about, like when we focus on it, I think that's how crypto is. All of a sudden, everyone's talking about this crypto and it starts shooting up. You know which one we're shooting up right now. Everyone's like, I see you're like, how's it doing?
It's all affected by memes, too.
Yeah,
like
and I think
magic.
that's how it is. It's that whole energy. If everyone starts talking about this crypto, all of a sudden it starts blowing up. Elon Musk mentions it. It gets this weird energy from, and all of a sudden it's at 80%, 800% up. And you're like, how did that happen?
I'm with you on that. And the energy of the coin determines how the coin acts. Like if you look at Doge, right? Doge was always considered a smash and grab coin. So people were just smashing and grabbing it. But now you got
Stable. Stable.
This Shiba.
Ooh.
And people are just like, 1 penny, 1 penny, 1 penny, and it's just slowly moving up.
So I bought some, right? We all have some here. My favorite thing to go now is to go on Twitter and type in hashtag Shiba Inu crypto, and you just how many people are talking about it. And the more they're talking about it, the more it's gonna go up. So it's just like you said, it's just the momentum of everybody talking about it, making memes. God. It's up. What?
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard people say that currency is attention, whatever you pay attention to.
100%.
So the more people are paying attention to stuff, like a certain crypto, I'm sure naturally it gains value because more people are paying attention to it.
Like we could move it with all of us talking about it. We can instantly
I do think there's something bad about crypto. Though. They kind of are enjoying us having fun with this because eventually, yeah, I mean, it's the cashless society.
But let me ask
it's
you
the
something.
Prep for that.
Let me ask you something. Do you think the internet is completely controlled by them? Completely? Like there's been no way, there's been no like nerd dorks who couldn't get laid, who had figured out a way to do something on the internet to impress women that it's like everything. Do you think they control every single aspect?
No, I don't think anything in the world is completely controlled. I mean, even in these institutions, there's people with their own agendas and people fight and people don't get along. And like, they're just like us. They're just really fucking evil. But, no one's that competent.
They're just like us, fucking evil?
I said they're, but just not, or they're extremely fucking evil. They're just like us. They're human beings, but they're just really fucking evil. They have weird beliefs. But
do you believe in reptilians?
Like, I think they argue between each other. I think Hillary and another reptilian are arguing about how much blood they should drink, or if they drink too much blood. They're just like us. They argue about shit that in their world is important to them.
Here's my opinion on these reptilians.
I like Robert Monroe's stuff about it.
What does he say?
That they're like astral entities, like that they exist in the astral realm. And maybe they do exist physically.
Is that archons, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. And
I do believe in archons. I believe in... dude,
I think they need artificial bodies to be here. And that's where like the AI alien connection comes in because if you look up what a xenobot is right now, there are these new technologies, this new technology created in 2020 where they use a computer to print biological matter. And and it's controlled by AI.
Xenobots?
Xenobot.
Look up Xenobots, dude. You have one job. Xenobots. Jesus Christ. I wouldn't doubt it, dude. I mean,
I think that's what the Greys are. They're like biological.
They're 3D printed biological bodies.
Yeah.
I think dude. Well, why not, man?
Meet the Xenobots, world's first living self-healing robots created from frog stem cells. And it's a CNN. It's a real
like how Jurassic Park started with that fucking with frog DNA.
That's exactly.
Did we not learn our lesson?
Yeah, I mean, like trust science. Fuck you.
Yeah, there's the Terminator. Don't forget Terminator 2. We've seen those AI shit that's going on.
And the way the ultra left or the ultra progressives, which tend to be nerd dorks, right? Right? Johnny's a redneck one, right? Would you consider yourself a hick?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. See, it
guns and farms and
but you're literate,
Braves
right?
fan, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're literate.
Yeah, right.
And believe it or not, John, even though my parents are teachers, my town is pretty like farms, lots of farms everywhere, all over the upstate New York.
A lot of good people in that kind of land.
They're good people.
Working off the land.
They're interesting.
It keeps you humble, though, working off the land. Cause
it's simple. And that's a good thing.
But you're connected to weather and cycles in a way that people in cities aren't, and it can humble you, those things.
Well, I mean, we can get into the city stuff where it's like, I think that's part of Agenda 2030, right? Mm-hmm. Get us into fucking cities so they bombard us with overpopulation, climate change, and everyone's like, oh my God. It's like, you live in LA, and we do this all the time when we fly to gigs. And you're like, dude, there's nobody around here. Like, it's shocking to you when you live in LA that you can go miles of forest.
Oh my God, dude! I went driving through Utah. There was just thousands of miles of nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, just nothing.
So I did Owen Benjamin's show a long time ago, like before he went on his journey, and he was talking to me about, because he was like, we got into what he thought enslaved humanity, and he said wheat. I go, what? And I didn't get it at that time. And I thought he was off his rocker. Mm-hmm. And now I kind of sit back and I realize like farming and all that stuff started creating scarcity, right? Mm-hmm. And then, and he's like, no, there's enough food for everybody forever. And I'm like, what?
Goes all the way back to the god of harvest, Saturn, your favorite subject.
Yeah. So, like, again, I owe an apology on that because he's completely right on that, way back on that. It's like, I really do believe there's not an overpopulation problem. Is there pollution? 100%. I mean, the air we breathe in LA, go to parts of China. It's really bad because people aren't meant to live on top of each other like this. We're meant to be spread out on the land. And there's enough land for everybody. It just, we've been fucking corralled into these cities because that's where the work is. That's where the jobs are. That's where the this is. That's where the that is.
Yeah, they definitely want everyone in cities. Eventually they want to make smart cities, like I said, and those will be, you know, way more controlled than what we have now.
I mean, we'll look at what's going on around freaking everybody out with the cargo ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, I don't know why can't we just bring them in?
Because they're trying to say because of COVID, they have to quarantine for a week.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So that's why they're out there.
What's more dangerous, COVID or starving people?
Or fucking food going rotten. I mean, it's just sitting there like, what is that?
Well, I'm just waiting for people to wake up to what's going on. Our leaders are literally sabotaging us. How come we're not going crazy? The rest of the world goes nuts because the margin of error is so thin. Like, if you go from here to here, dude, that's like famine. That's go from, surviving life to, dude, how am I going to eat? Where's my money? Are we going to eat the dog? Like, that's literally where it goes to. That's why they're overthrowing their leaders every other week. The problem with America is that we have it so good, we're like, come on, man. Come on.
Right.
Freaked out
Don't
over toilet
fuck this
paper.
up.
We freaked out over toilet paper.
But we didn't.
We did, yeah, but they made it.
They show videos,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like, nobody went to the streets demanding
Right.
change. And, like, LA will be the last place to do it. New York is already going nuts on people. LA won't do it because there's so many conformists in this town. They are so worried about not getting fucking a green light in an industry that is dying.
Yeah, I was a little bit scared to drive out here. I was like, I'm going right into the belly of the beast. Don't really know I'm doing this. I had it pretty good in Ohio. There's no one freaking out
Did you wear a mask yet?
Huh?
Did you wear a mask yet?
When was the
in
last
Ohio-
time you wore a mask?
I had to wear one in a store, but only because like someone asked me to or whatever. I wasn't gonna fight with them. I was like, oh my God.
But here though, right?
Yeah, in LA.
Yeah.
But in Fresno, up north, like no one. Some people are wearing masks more than like Ohio, but like no one's yelling at you. I think it's optional.
Yeah.
Here it's mandatory. You can't go into a store without them literally, and they can tell you to wait outside for whatever you buy. You go to Starbucks and you don't have a mask on, they'll bring it to you
Because
outside.
it's not even about health anymore. It's literally about not wearing a mask. These people associate that with Republicans and conservatives, and they just rally against that. It has nothing to do with health. It has everything to do with identity politics.
And it's embarrassing. Like, you walk in there and they're like, can you step outside, sir? I already walked in the fucking building. Whatever I got already fucking has it. I already touched the doorknob. I'm already here. Give me my phone. They're like, can you step outside, sir? And you kind of don't argue, like, whatever. But yeah, because I didn't have a mask. And they're like, you can't be in this
I totally
establishment.
agree with that, dude. And and what they've also done. You know what's so interesting? And maybe because I don't deal with them as much as I used to, but it just seems like before COVID, the TSA was just a bunch of assholes, right? And they're busting balls. But now that like the TSA is everywhere, like in life with the mask, and everything, they seem to have calmed down.
Yeah.
I had a real incident with a TSA a couple of days ago. So she was just screaming at this guy, and he was like, "I didn't say anything," and she goes, "It was your body language, sir." I mean, just screaming at the top of her lungs. So I guess she'd had it. I haven't observed.
I was in a busy airport a few weeks ago. They didn't even make me take off my shoes or anything. They was like, just go, because there's so many people.
That happens in Raleigh a lot. When I fly out of Raleigh in North Carolina, they don't give a shit. They're just like, you leave your iPad and your computer in your bag. Don't take your shoe. You just walk past that dog.
I bet you they're over it too. I bet you they're like, what are we doing this for?
And then sometimes you can leave your computer in your backpack. Sometimes you can't. It's like, what, is it going to blow up? Because they make it seem like it needs its own bin.
It doesn't even make sense why you pull your computer out.
They're afraid of water bottles being bombs, but they put them in a trash can with all the other bombs.
Yeah.
So
Well, so much of this government kind of like fucking overreach completely lacks logic.
It's a charade, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's meant to inspire comfort, but it doesn't solve.
I think it's meant to create cognitive dissonance in people for real, because none of it makes sense.
Yeah.
And
the COVID rules don't make sense. TSA rules don't
well,
make sense.
it's also that like the people who are enforcing this, if all laws are gone and we went back to caveman shit, they would either be fucked or killed,
Yeah, definitely.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They would be fucked and killed off real quick. And like because we have this law, this structure of society, they have found a way to manipulate it into power.
Yeah, they're mentally breaking everyone very subtly. It's like MK Ultra on a mass scale.
Well, I mean, remember when the protests were happening or the riots? Protests, sometimes riots. When they went to Beverly Hills, all of a sudden, nope, not here.
Oh yeah,
That's what happened.
How
If,
you know.
if it really went down, everybody would go straight to Beverly Hills, and there would be no one to protect them at that point. So they know they got to keep the fucking government intact, so that nothing happens to them. Because when that riots happened, they got scared. People remember that lady outside her house with the guns with the old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew some shit could have gone down right there.
Yeah, ma'am. Start fucking plugging people, dude. I watched this video today on Twitter. Can you find my Twitter? I want to show you this video. What? Oh, can you?
I got it. Yeah.
So it's a video of
What's your Twitter now?
everybody's on fucking this train, Fat Dragon Pro. Everybody's on this train, and this black guy is screaming at this white chick, and he punches her, and nobody does anything. And you know what the first thing came to my head? Weak men make hard times. Yeah, keep going down. You'll see it. It's where. No, you'll see it. I don't even know what the fuck that was. go up. There it is. There it is. Watch this. Now, I think she's with somebody.
We should have sound with this. I think you're paired still, actually. So if you turn your volume
I don't
up.
even think you need the volume. Just
Oh, you don't?
make
Okay.
it big on the screen so people can see it.
Yeah, I mean, the world's getting so crazy. I'm
My
literally
train riding
partially out here to learn to fight
empire.
with my friend who's like into jiu-jitsu and stuff. Just because of how crazy everything is, I want to be able to protect my family and stuff.
And nobody did anything.
Damn.
And her boyfriend's
God.
right there.
All he said was "whoa" to him.
What'd she say? Like take a chill pill or something, right? You punched her in the face. Damn, she took it too, didn't she?
She took it. She's a champ.
Which makes me think he punches like a girl.
What a piece of shit that guy
like that.
Fucking real.
I would lose it, dude. I would lose it.
You'd lose
I'd
it
be
even,
like, today's the day we find out if Krav Maga works.
even if it wasn't your girl. You'd lose it.
I would lose it.
If it was anybody you knew, unless it was like some random ass
I'm like,
crazy
hey man,
person.
who you hit?
yeah.
Are you hitting chicks, bro? And then you just, and today's the day we find out. That was gonna happen in Starbucks. I'm gonna talk about it tonight. Today's the day we find out if Krav Maga means
Yo,
anything.
if you take him down, he's got a new fucking member because I'm signing up to Krav Maga. If I hear that Sam took someone out
Oh,
because
but
of
look at how
Krav
that
Maga.
dude punches that chick. Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
think he hits hard?
No.
That chick took it and just sat there. She's all of 100 pounds. That guy holding the bag next to her
Pussy.
looks like he likes to get fucking
Yeah.
pegged.
Yeah. He's cuckolding her, pegging. He's not fucking her.
It's crazy times, but this is all a mass ritual. But you think it gets worse, or you think it gets better?
I don't know for sure. I mean, I hope it doesn't get any worse, but I don't see it getting any better right now. Actually, there's been some signs of hope with people, fighting back against the mandates and stuff, and them, totally removing them in different places. I honestly think that'll happen here once they actually. Isn't November 4th when they mandate everyone's vaccine passport or whatever?
Yeah, they're supposed to do it.
I think people are they're gonna freak out.
I think it's like the 27th is when you have to. That's when you have to have it to go into grocery stores and shit. Yeah.
Oh, in grocery stores?
Oh, yeah, Sam, you didn't know?
In grocery stores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to fight some people.
There are a lot of businesses that said they aren't going to do
Yeah.
it, and the sheriff says he's not going to enforce it. But yeah.
But dude,
Even
have
though
you
the
been to
numbers the numbers are
supermarket?
going down though, dude. If you believe their numbers,
Which I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
This-
But they're even saying it's going down. It's not necessary anymore
Yeah.
according to their own rules.
Under this mandate, will need to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination to enter restaurants, bars, coffee shops, stores, gyms, spas, or salons. People attending large outdoor events will also need to show evidence of either vaccine or proof of negative.
Outdoor
test
events.
attempt.
That tells you
Yeah.
they're not following their own rules.
Yeah.
Because they say nobody gets it outside.
Right?
Nobody.
I mean, why did we eat in restaurants outside for a year?
No sense.
But there's two things going on. Conformity, right? And then on top of that, man, it's this whole notion of like, hey, if I'm fucked, you're fucked too. Come be fucked with me. So I had a buddy of mine. I'm trying to learn a little bit more about him, but in terms of like, he just passed away in his sleep, had a heart attack. He's my age.
Scares you, huh, Sam?
Well, it's like,
For no reason, like
I that's why, I
me.
mean, he like, I hadn't seen, he came to see me do stand up 2 years ago. And I just want to find out, like, was he unhealthy? Because I don't remember him. He was always a guy who worked out and was in shape. And, you know, he was a crazy kid when we were in college. And then he kind of grew up and became a good man, a good father. And everybody was like, he was really a good dude. And had a heart attack in his sleep. 4 daughters. And it's just like, was this the vaccine? Did he just get the vaccine? Had he? So it's like, it's.
Do you know if he got it?
Well, I think I'm gonna fly in for the memorial on Monday. Get in, get out. Show some respect. Go
is that the first time someone passed away from something like that? Because I've had, like, from me in high school, I've had people pass away from cancer or car accident.
in my life?
Yeah, and from like high school, because I mean, that's when you start looking shit up. When people start dying for no reason, is when like, oh shit, I better start getting life insurance. Shit's just different now because people are dying, but they die because they're fucking around doing coke or whoop de whoop. But that just happened, like you said, he just was sleeping. That's kind of when you.
Oh,
That's
by
when
the
it starts
way,
hitting shit.
if you gotta go, that's the way to go. Can we all agree?
Yeah.
I mean, it was super early, but hey, dude, you hit the jackpot. I'm passing out. I'm passing on. But no, dude, there was because I'm in. You know, I struggle with drugs and alcohol, man. And there was a period where in 3 years I lost 15 people to either drugs, alcohol, cancer, heart attacks.
Suicides.
Yeah.
Suicides
Yeah.
were bad.
Yeah, you had a
dude.
couple bad ones. Yeah, I remember.
And it's just like, and suicide is so hard because it's like, dude, and you know, we look at, I got this, I got Brody's up there. It's like, this too shall pass. This too shall pass, man. And like, so I have a cousin of mine that I'm just really focusing on right now, man. I'm focusing on this kid because he's super smart and he's born into a world of shit. And I just want to fucking help him rise like a phoenix. And he's really responding to it. I love it. Like, I feel awkward sometimes, but then I'm like, no, dude, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking help this kid figure this shit out. Because I don't want him to fucking allow the darkness to seep in. That's so easy to do. Right? And it's just like, in recovery, I learned everything going on in my life is like directly related to decisions I made and actions I've taken. Right? I mean, I am my own worst enemy. I am causing all the pain in my life, all the suffering. By running and gunning forever, I cause all this chaos. And I want this kid to understand that.
Right.
And like when you know, it's like Brody passes on. It's like, I know there was some pharmaceutical stuff involved, you know, but at the end of the day, it's like I just could not get him to accept how loved he was, and that because he was never going to be Zach Galifianakis, that doesn't mean he's a failure. Because you know, a lot of people want equal outcome, and that's not this realm we live in.
Right.
And you got to fucking open your mind to like. I mean, dude, I'm about to celebrate my 49th birthday. This will come out on my birthday. Okay? I'll be 49 years old.
By the way, I was super nervous at the beginning, and I got my own age wrong. I think I said I'm turning 28. I'm actually turning 27. So I just
Let me
want
tell
to
you
clear that up.
something. You always feel a year older than you are.
Yeah. Well, my friend turns 28 on Halloween, so maybe that was it. I don't know, but yeah.
Is that a weird birthday, you think?
A Halloween birthday?
Like, I think having a birthday on a holiday gotta suck.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially Christmas.
Yeah, I was going to say Christmas is probably the worst.
Yeah, mine's December 18. It's like
That's close.
Or if you're like a twin, and you have to share a
people.
birthday.
Well, I just end up getting one gift. You know, like, hey, we just thought we'd roll it in.
Yeah,
to one
man,
big-
here's your birthday. Here's your
And they make it seem like, oh, we back them together, and you know they didn't.
Yeah, they just got you one gift.
One gift, and they made-
held 2 things.
Yeah. Hey, your girlfriends must love it, Johnny.
What now?
Your girlfriends, like people like that, be like, oh, we're just
No,
gonna put them
because
together.
she's big on making sure we give a gift for everything, so she wouldn't.
Oh, she's a smart one.
She's yeah, that's women. I mean,
That's
look
smart.
at we had this thing with Dana. She just got want hard in the paint.
Yeah, she
And
was,
even though all I want is some lobster rolls, and I'm out. That's all I need for my birthday. I don't need anything else. But I want to get back into, your early journeys, man, because like you were doing some of those really great. For the longest time, Twitter threads were like the best way to get information, and you were doing a ton of those, right? What were some of your more popular ones?
Well, the most popular was "Did the World End in 2012?" It has like 100,000 retweets. Like it's insanely viral, and it's still going viral on Facebook. Like someone else reposted it, like just took screenshots of everything, and it's going totally viral on there. I'm getting all these messages on Facebook now, like years later.
Do you think it ended?
Well, I gotta tell you a really weird synchronicity about this.
Oh hell yeah!
Okay, so literally 3 days ago, when I first got here to LA, I traveled back up north for the last 2 days, but I came back down for this. But my last day hanging out in LA before I came back, I went to the Van Gogh museum art exhibit thing, and there was like a homeless guy outside, selling his art. And so I bought something from him and gave him a pack of smokes. And he wrote his Instagram. He's like, if I write my Instagram on the back of this, will you, send me a picture of you with the art and blah, 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 send it to me so I can post it on Instagram. I was like, yeah, sure. So the next day I get that done. I send it to him and he's like, thank you so much, man. And he's like, by the way, I have this theory that CERN destroyed the universe and all this stuff. And he didn't even look at my Instagram. There's nothing about that on Instagram. I kind of messed that story up. So the weirdest thing about that was actually I was driving around with this girl and we were talking about the CERN 2012 thing, and she's like, yeah, you can't really just like walk up to any stranger on the street and talk to him about CERN because they have no idea what it is. Literally in that moment, that dude sent me that message. He's like, by the way, I think CERN destroyed the universe in 2012. I was like, what is going on?
that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, is this a CIA or is this a real synchronicity?
I think there's so much synchronicity. I think about people all the time. They call me. And I think that's like energy, dude. Energy.
I do, like, I definitely believe in synchronicity. Like, there's, like, definitely. I also think that there can be artificial ones. Like, I think some people will be led on, like, a Easter egg hunt looking for something that the dark side wants them to look for, and they don't even know until, like, they've been led down this weird, rabbit trail, and they're like, oh, crap, I'm involved in some weird shit now, and they didn't even know where they were being led. But, like, I think that's the thing with magic is you start seeing all this awesome stuff, and it's like, I don't know, it's just so enticing,
What is your thoughts on magic? Because we've been doing a lot of magic conversations lately.
I mean, I think it's almost impossible to avoid it. I think, words are magic. We're constantly, almost everything we do is in some way like ritualistic. Like that's just the way society is designed. I think it's good to be aware of that. But ultimately, like, yeah, I don't like practice anything. I just believe in God. I think that's where the real magic is. I mean, of course, there's probably ways to amplify that with, other weird things people do. But I personally don't do like any ritual besides like my ritual like years ago when I was super motivated and super had all my shit together. I was like, waking up at 5:30 and writing down my goals and like meditating and doing Wim Hof deep breathing and cold showers, and that was like my ritual. But I do think that when you're like, I think it's all placebo. I think that's what helped me manifest so quickly is because I felt so good,
Yeah, I think the world's ran by sorcerers.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is.
It's all magic.
I just don't want to do what they're doing,
Yeah, I don't want. I think they sold their souls, and that's why they want to transhumanism.
Right. The magic might not even be theirs. It might be the demons. They just think they're magical, But the demons are really giving them these supernatural powers.
I think that's so true. I think it's like everything's an occult ritual done on a massive scale, and they're just manipulating us. And that's why what is up is really down all the time.
I think the ritual it's a massive moonchild ritual to birth a new life form, which is the transhuman, the robot, the man merged with machine.
I think they just don't want to face the consequences of their decisions of how they treated people.
Right, so they want to live forever.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if we think this is a realm that we're here to learn lessons and we're only meant to pass through, what a totally evil thing to do is trap you here, so you can never ascend up.
Well, yeah, I mean, even the Bible, it says in those days people will want to die, they won't be able to. It also talks about the people who get the mark of the beast will think with one mind. And I think they're talking about a literal hive mind, which would be the people linked up to that sentient world simulation.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's not like COVID is all about conformity and like hive mind like thinking. These people are, none of it even makes sense, but they're all just doing it because the rest of everyone's doing
And
it.
not just COVID, dude. This whole woke movement, and the way it manifests on social media. I mean, think about, anytime something happens now, you pretty much know what people are going to say about it. In the majority, even, and I don't think that's ever been true before.
Is it the majority? I just feel like
No, but I mean on social,
Yeah.
that group, exactly what they're going to say. That woke group about like the Chappelle thing. We knew what that was going to be. And
were there any comics who came out against Chappelle outside of that fat lesbian?
nobody of note that I remember.
They'd be stupid too.
Yeah, I'm sure there were, but I don't remember.
Isn't that crazy? Like how many of them, and it goes back to conformity. How many people didn't say anything about Dave Chappelle, but they completely threw fucking Shane Gillis under the bus?
Oh, it's where they are. Yeah.
You were listening.
I think that whole Chappelle thing was like a psyop for more divide and conquer stuff. I think it was all scripted. Like they planned it out. It's not like the Netflix
buy
people
that.
didn't know that people were going to get outraged, or they totally orchestrated the outrage.
I
in the
think they
first place.
totally orchestrated it.
I don't think anyone was actually really that upset.
I think the E channel changed how everybody operated.
I mean, you
man.
know who owns Netflix, right?
Yeah, the guy who his uncle created propaganda, right?
Yeah.
Right? And people
Yeah.
don't realize like how crazy that is. Look at all the low frequency shit on there.
Squid Games.
I mean, that was great. Low frequency is shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Although
It's
he did,
awful.
that creator did earn my respect by dissing LeBron James. Did you see that? LeBron said he didn't like the ending of the show, and so the creator came out and said, "Have you seen Space Jam 2?
Damn.
How about you try to make your own sequel, and then I'll say I liked it except the end." He just crushed LeBron, so he got my respect a little bit.
I think LeBron is losing power left and right, dude. I mean, but anyway, I think he is part of it. That ends Cantor going off on China.
Enos Cantor, yeah.
We're gonna find out, like, how long is he gonna be in the league for? You could see him get blackballed real early.
Yeah, be interesting.
And didn't Biden said we're supposed to have Taiwan's back?
I just,
And then the government said, and the Congress said, no, chill.
Dude,
We're
and
not
that
going to
shit-
war for that.
That Taiwan shit, dude, that is down to the smallest levels. Like, I remember I used to work, my summer job was working the manual scoreboard for the Durham Bulls, right? And in all of our, even though everybody who was a fan of the Taiwan team called it Taiwan, all the signs were Taiwan, we had to, anytime we interacted with somebody, call them Chinese Taipei. And we would get in trouble if we didn't call them Chinese Taipei. Even at a baseball game, dude, that's how big that shit was. Like even baseball leagues are afraid of China, just kind of like amateur shit. It was like amateur baseball.
what do you think of China? Do you think China is the head of the demon? Do you think they're battling the New World Order? What do you think? Is this a battle between? Did the New World Order create a monster, or was China going to happen? They tried to insert themselves into it, which is what Cliff High was talking about.
Yeah, I listened to that one. I loved that episode. I have no idea, to be honest. I don't really have an opinion on China. Not that I'm scared of it. I think it's awful what they've... I do think COVID came from there. I think actually it started off in North Carolina, I believe. I think...
What?
Yeah, if you can...
And that's
What,
You
the coronavirus?
fucking scumbags.
What?
You're saying it came from
Possible.
Johnny's hometown?
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
there's a...
Okay,
there's-
so
yeah.
Whoa,
in
Johnny.
North Carolina, I'm pretty sure Obama was funding Fauci's... Like at a laboratory in North Carolina. It's either North or South Carolina, but...
It's North Carolina. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and they were like studying coronaviruses, bat viruses, and they were doing gain of function research there, and then they had to move it to Wuhan, and then, yeah, the rest is history.
It leaked from Wuhan, though. I mean, or it was intentionally released from Wuhan, but
Yeah, I really don't know what the plan
that's
is
just
with
too big
China,
a
though.
coincidence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I think they're all in cahoots together.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Nick, what's the most astounding fact that you've learned on this journey in your life?
That's really hard.
Well, it's only hard if you think there's a right answer.
Right. Yeah. I don't think there's a right answer to that.
I
but,
think it's whatever you say it is.
Um,
There's no pressure.
honestly, to me right now, the most mind-blowing stuff I'm learning about is the sentient world simulation and the AI mind control stuff. Like, it's all there in print and it's all documented. Like, it's not conspiracy. It could be, fear porn. Maybe they just say all this crap and it's not even real. Maybe they don't have it. I don't know how advanced their technology actually is. I've always questioned whether they really do have quantum computers or not. Or like, who was it? Chris Knowles saying how the robots, it's all CGI. I've questioned that too. I've thought maybe that's true, but yeah,
So much of it is just a fucking trick.
I saw the Men in Black once. That's the most mind-blowing thing.
What? You saw Men in Black?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Where?
In Florida, I was like UFO hunting.
And they said,
And-
"Yo,
no, they
cool.
didn't talk to me. It
Did
was
they
like,
go get jiggy with it? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
It was like 3 a.m. on a beach, on private property.
That is weird to watch, to see someone in a suit at the beach.
Yeah. and it was-
Wait. I'm sorry. You were trespassing, or
Yeah, I was trespassing.
Okay, got it.
So I was like, is this a cop? Why isn't he like paying attention to me? Literally. So anyways, I got to this beach and there was this giant blue orb in the sky above the water. And I was kind of just watching it, but I was like, I don't know. I don't have my glasses on. I don't know if this is actually real. And then I was just like kind of questioning it. I was like, it sounds stupid, but I literally prayed about it. I was like, God, if this is real, I need something that like confirms this. And then all of a sudden down the beach, there was this other blue light just flashing on and off, on and off, on and off. And I was like, what the hell is that? Is that someone on a bike like bumping up and down? Is that someone with a flashlight? Like, is it a security guard? Like, I didn't know what it was, but it never moved. It just kept doing that. And then all of a sudden, from the opposite side of the beach, this guy in a black suit starts just walking.
At 3 a.m.
Yeah,
you said?
3 a.m. He just walks all the way down the side of the beach and like goes towards that light. And the person I was with, they were like, "Oh my God, that was our chance to talk to the Men in Black." I was like, "No, we gotta go."
Yeah.
Hey, what brought you to that spot? Was it a well-known UFO
It was
spot?
randonauting.
Really?
Yeah,
I
what-
don't want to dive too deep into that.
Okay,
but
you're not allowed
Yeah.
to talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
I mean,
Interesting,
I
interesting.
kind of can, but I mean, I just rather not.
Tell them about what it was. What was randonauting?
It was this, I mean, it still is. It's a quantum random number generator that they use to take people to totally random locations. So, like, the theory behind it is basically, everything in the world, so it came from the theory of determinism. People were saying, well, if reality really is predetermined, meaning that you don't have any free will, everything is set in stone, from the moment you're born to the moment you die, this might be a potential way to break out of that and experience true randomness. But yeah, I left the project a while ago due to just like philosophical differences with the creator. But we've talked a few times here and there since then.
And does that break the cycle of set patterns?
Well, someone found some dead person with that app thing, so
They set their intention towards travel and found a suitcase with a body in it.
that's when it got huge on TikTok. Or it was
Yeah,
TikTok,
yeah,
right?
that's
It got
what- that's
huge.
what
Yeah,
it
you can
went
download the
super-
app and everything.
Went
Yeah.
super viral.
Do you think this Gabby chick was a psyop?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's so weird, all the things that, her looking like the iPet goat girl, the fact that she was part of that, like, school shooting video, whatever. I think it was for the Parkland shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird that she was part of that, it just doesn't make sense to me why they're popularizing it so much. I think maybe it was like there was convenient synchronicities in there that they wanted to use for communications between other secret societies or something. I really don't know. But it's just weird to me because stuff like that happens all the time. And it's like, why focus on these two kids? And then the story just like they're dragging it out so long. And I'm sure there's going to be more stuff about like the mom and dad. Like they're going to probably talk to them. Like, I think I heard it on your show where they like found all this stuff like 30 minutes after they left the house to go look for him or something.
Yeah, well, and then they lost they had a tail on him, and they lost it because the mother he left in his car, and then the mother came back in his car and had a hat on and was dressed like him, and the police were like, they have similar builds, and that's how they lost him. It sounds like the mother helped him, slip out, and then do whatever happens.
And we haven't seen any bodies.
No.
Like I say,
Oh
it all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time.
They haven't even shown us anything like
The
that.
world is
stage.
a haunted house.
A haunted house.
I think when you start thinking of like a haunted house,
Yeah, like it's all decorations and just fake.
it's all decoration
Yeah,
and
yeah.
actors to scare us, to steal our loot.
Yeah.
That's why I think all this shit is, dude. And I'm not saying that's not true and that they're not trying. Like, you know, when you study like germ theory versus terrain theory, right? You know, it's like they've been studying this so long. Could they have created a germ, a virus?
Right. Yeah.
Could they? I mean, have they done that? Is it out of the realm that with all this money, time, effort, decades
Have you ever
of
looked
working
at a
on-
virus? They look like little nanobots. Have you seen what a virus looks like?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think they could have created them because I do believe in that the like electromagnetic field theory. Or no, search up.
But it's like Johnny
I don't know
knows I got
what it's
COVID
called, but-
tongue. So that was something.
Search up like virus structure or something like that. But but what was I saying? Oh yeah, I do believe in that like the electromagnetic that right there. I do believe in like the electromagnetic theory where like, you know, all these plagues have always happened around times when they've started messing with the electromagnetic frequency of the earth through, you know, new different cell phone
Technologies.
Yeah, new technologies. Yeah, exactly. Like 5G, 3G. And I think the Gwen towers, when they had those, they were messing with people. The elf towers, which I find weird because elf, you know, like
What do you mean the elf towers?
They had elf towers, which they're just like sending out frequencies and stuff. I don't really know what they do, but the name is funny to me because people always talk about the machine elves, and then you have Alex Jones say that the machine elves are the ones telling everyone to, you know, giving them the information to build these supercomputers and stuff like that.
Oh my God. Who knows, dude?
Nick, I'm curious. You mentioned that, and it's okay. I mean, obviously, if you don't, and I know you said maybe you didn't want to talk about some of this stuff, but you mentioned a few supernatural encounters over the past year or so.
Yeah.
What,
Well,
anything
okay, so
that
there-
comes to mind there?
Yeah, there's one I don't want to talk about, but the coolest ones, I guess, would just be visiting the blood cells.
Well, I have a feeling it involves probing.
No. Involves like more of a ghost type situation than aliens or anything like that. But
shit.
like some of the cool ones, obviously, were going to visiting the Bledsoe property and seeing.
We
all
got to
the
get out
ones
there,
that-
man.
Huh?
We got to get out there, dude.
Johnny, you're gonna open up fucking doors you can't close.
Nah, we got to go, man. I know that whole area. It's you know, it's good
What are you
people
gonna
out
be
there.
a tracker? Just
No, but I'm just
I
saying,
smell
they're
archons.
good people there.
Yo,
You will
imagine
be in
that.
good hands.
Imagine we're there and Johnny starts acting like a farmer, a hunter, and he's like, "Come here, I
I
smell
do.
this
My
over
girlfriend
here."
notes that I do get a little more southern accent when I'm with talking to my folks and stuff.
hey man, hey
Yeah,
Ralph.
a little. of
What are
that.
you, Sarah Tiana on stage?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So back to that story I was telling
Yeah.
earlier. This is kind of one of those supernatural things. Like a few days before I got to Bledsoe's property for the first time, I talked to that psychic who said, "Oh, I think you're the reincarnation of Merlin's apprentice, and you have Hathor written on your head." I was like, "Well, I don't know what any of that means, but here's your money." And and then like 10 minutes later, I get a call from Ryan. He's like, "Yo, when you coming down?" I was like, "Oh, in a couple days." At the time, I was in Washington. I was going to go visit Maverick in Idaho, and then eventually make my way down to Ryan. But Ryan's like, "Dude, my dad figured out the name of the lady." And so for people who don't know, the lady was this alien that abducted Chris. And you've heard his story, right? You had him on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the lady that abducted Chris or whatever, he was like, he called me on the phone. He's like, "Dude, my dad figured out the name of the lady." I was like, "What is it?" He's like, "It's Hathor." And, you know, the psychic had just told me Hathor was written on my head. I was like, you won't believe what just happened 10 minutes ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that was one of the weird things. And when I finally got down to the Bledsoe property, a week or so later, Chris is like, "Yeah, these people that I talked to, they think I'm the reincarnation of, Moses. Some say I'm Galileo, some say I'm Merlin." And I was like, "Well, I was told I was Merlin's apprentice, so maybe you have something to teach me." And yeah, there was another weird one. So when I left and I didn't see Ryan for like 6 months, but when I finally did see him again, it was for his wedding. And during the wedding rehearsal, there was like 30 people there, and it's on Twitter. Like all 30 of these people saw a UFO come over like this pond. They had it in the country at this farm or like this barn.
Told me that exact same story in Vegas.
Yeah.
That exact same story. That the wedding that everybody saw, because he was at their 500 was their honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Ryan's wife was trying to pull a hookup with your girlfriend.
Ryan
I was
told
like,
me
is
they were
she
getting along
working
really
this
well.
right
Yeah,
now,
they
bro? We got conspiracy threesomes happening in Vegas still. Poor XT is like, dude, where's my girlfriend, bro?
I'm in Vegas. There's no one.
So,
But that's the same, exact same story he was telling me. That it was like over the lake, 30 people saw
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and everybody at his wedding.
And
He's like,
Chris-
dude, they follow him. He say every time he kept saying that, I'm like, dude, stop saying that. We're hanging out. Like, stop saying people follow you and these things follow you. I'm like, dude, we're hanging out.
Ryan's a good dude.
Yeah, no, he's great.
He's got
Chris,
good energy.
Chris was like on the verge of tears almost because it was so vindicating for him. Like a lot of those people who saw that were family members who had said he was crazy his whole life. So it's like a really, really important event.
Wow.
For them, yeah. I mean, I thought it was awesome, but I
What
didn't
do you-
realize how significant it was for that. For like, it's a very significant day. Like right before the wedding, like life was changing for them, and Chris got to be vindicated. It was
Do you
just
think that was their gift to Ryan for his wedding? Like, here we go.
We've tortured you your whole life.
yeah, something like
You
that.
know, it's like when we start a Super Bowl, they do a flyover the government. Just so you know, boom. That's what the aliens did. They're like, this one's for you, Bloodstone.
Something like that.
What do we live in, dude?
I think so I kind of changed my mind a little bit. I don't.
Since we started talking?
No,
Or?
no. Yeah, I might change my mind by the end of this sentence, but I kind of believe we live in like. Have you ever seen the Jesus fish, the Vesca piscis? I think it's kind of like that. I think we live in like a Venn diagram. Like there's the artificial machine world, like the real simulation, and then there's like the natural divine world. I think we live in the cross section between the two, and
So we live right where like
yeah,
the
right
tail
where the
starts,
right
right
where
where the
the
tail.
yeah.
So
Okay.
interesting.
Right where the
Why
old-
do you think that?
Because that's what Philip K. Dick was getting into when he had all of his weird Jesus synchronicities.
Do you think we live in a big fish?
Yeah.
I'm not against that. Guy told us we live in an egg yesterday, and I
belly
was
of the
pretty
beast.
convinced.
We're like Jonah in the belly of the whale. But
Is that fish flat?
I don't know.
Is it one of those
man. I
flat
don't know.
fishes?
Yeah.
What if it was
It's
one
a
of those
f- yeah, it's a
musical
flat
instruments
fish.
you play, dude? But
We live in the cross section between two realms: an artificial machine world, fake, and the natural, the divine, nature. And like I said, if we don't already live in a simulation, some people will eventually when they hook everyone up to this sentient world simulation thing. But that gets me started on a whole nother tangent because it's like, if this thing really is a perfect mirror model of the world, that would mean that there has to be the same simulation within the simulation, right? There would have to be the building where the simulation is housed inside of their simulation, and then there'd be another one inside.
The only problem with
you get this time loop problem.
The only problem with my thing with simulation is how much processing power would a computer need?
Yeah, I don't know. Some
Like how
peop-
much process?
there's-
What computer would they using to have everybody? Everybody has their own simulation. So how much?
Right.
What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know. Some people say like that this sentient world simulation thing, it's ran inside of a giant black cube, D-Wave computer.
oh my
Yeah,
god!
yeah. And some people say this is what's actually responsible for the Mandela effect because of something called quantum pollution, because they're making all these mirror models of. It's
So you
just
believe in
fucking
the
with reality.
the Mandela effect?
Yeah, I believe in the Mandela effect.
Yeah?
100%. Yeah.
Bernstein or Bernstein?
Berenstein. I used to play all the video games, read all the books.
What's it called? How do you spell sentinel?
No, Sentient. S-E-N-T-I.
I spelled it, Sam. Come on.
S-E-N. No, you didn't spell.
Yes, I
he helped
did.
you.
No, Google the fucking
Sential?
DuckDuckGo finished
Sentient.
it off.
Sentient. I don't know. I'm gonna fucking throw it out there and hope and pray. It's just so crazy, dude. It's just so deep, and I don't know, man. Are we supposed to unplug from it? Is that what our goal is?
Yeah, get back to nature. I think that's the best way, and act authentically. Act from the heart. I think that they can only mind control you if you're all in your head or all in your root chakra. Have the blue and the red. I think that's where the blue and the red symbolism comes from. With it's always like blue versus red in this world for some reason. I think it's about like somehow subconsciously creating some sort of imbalance in us. But if you look at the chakra system, the blue chakra, the third eye chakra, has two petals. And I really believe that's because it has something to do with the way the mind thinks in binary. And so if you're always thinking in binary, you're more susceptible to this like simulation, mind control stuff. And like I said, I think the only way to kind of negate that is through heart-based consciousness. Open up your heart chakra, or just get closer to God, get more into prayer. Get out of self-centered type thinking, because if they are, this is factual, they are able to influence thoughts with mind, cell phone towers and stuff
Do you
like
ever
that.
think they're putting thoughts in your head?
I've thought about it before.
I've thought about that too.
Yeah. But so if you're able to be in your heart, though, you're able to do what you said, be the observer. You just observe the thoughts. You're like, I don't have to act on that. But people are super stuck in their head, will think that they're their own thoughts and, you know, act on everything that their mind says. Or if you're super ego-based, you know. But if you have more heart than ego, they can't really do anything to you.
I just like, you know, I don't know where we live. I think where we live is a battle royal. Mm-hmm. It's a royal rumble.
I'm starting to wonder whether like any of like, so people talk about like talking to Thoth or the Pleiadians and like all these different beings people are talking about. I have no idea. Sometimes I think it's all crap. Sometimes like, I don't know. I've seen some weird stuff, but I think sometimes I do think it is really just we're caught on the battlefield between two opposing sides, and we like don't even really matter. They just like pick us up like pawns sometimes to use us, but we're caught like, we're just caught in the middle of a crossfire.
What if there's
of
like
the
a
gods.
universe, right? And that's why, in my heart of hearts, brother, why I believe they're gonna lose is because they're not bigger than the universe.
Right? Yeah.
Even this sentient simulation is in the universe.
Right.
It's not bigger than the universe. Klaus Schwab's power bottom ass isn't fucking bigger than the universe.
Right.
No matter how many deals he makes with as many entities as possible, those entities that he's making deals with are not bigger than the universe. They're all playing within the universe.
Right. And I don't know if this is true. I think it's a kind of weird theory, but it is interesting that some people, like, it sounds like Luciferian and stuff. That's why I don't like it. But I still think the idea is interesting, that the Illuminati or the powers that be are actually here for our own spiritual they're the catalyst for our spiritual progress. Like, if there was no evil in the world, what would we be fighting against? What would we be pushing against? How would we have any challenges? How would we get to know, this whole spiritual journey started because of them in a weird way.
That's an argument for why the devil exists, or was
Right,
allowed
necessary evil
to continue. Yeah,
Who wants utopia?
because we need the.
Utopia.
Who wants it? Like who wants?
Oh
it?
yeah,
It's
who wants
kinda
utopia?
like-
Yeah.
I mean,
Isn't that-
Adam and Eve they weren't content.
Right. Yeah.
In
There's
the
a
Garden
quote.
of Eden,
There's a quote by some philosopher. I forget who it is, but he says like, if human beings ever did have utopia, they'd burn it down like in a couple days or something like that, because they get so bored.
Isn't that what the a part of the story of the Matrix was in the movie? Is that they made
Yeah,
a utopia and everyone was like, "This sucks. We hate this." And they're like, okay, fuck. Here's some pain and suffering.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, for me, man, the pain and suffering is what gives this whole thing texture, right? And like, and I say it all the time, but the digestion, the numbing out when pain and suffering happens is in terms of me, dark arts, bro. All the pharmaceutical drugs, dark arts, and not all of them. I shouldn't say. I didn't mean that. I meant like when we're talking about them. But there are people with chemical imbalances that need some help. So it helps stabilize them. But there's a lot of people who run to this stuff to get away from pain and suffering, when I think the pain and suffering is there to tell you to change your life up.
Definitely.
And what is up is really down. And like sobriety's really helped me to look into, why do I feel like this? Like, I've discovered that if I drink too much Red Bull, I get super depressed, because I've been able to isolate what's different in my life, that I'm feeling like, why do I feel so down? And I go, oh, well, I ate like shit.
Yeah.
And I had a fucking 2 Red Bulls in one night. And dude, don't tell me that shit doesn't have darkness in it.
Right. Definitely.
I
It's
mean,
the crash.
it's the crash and it's the chemicals. And dude, I told you before, spirits. What do they call spirits? I'm convinced crystal meth has fucking occult magic in it.
Yeah. I mean, you know about al-Kul, right? The Arabic word where ghoul comes from, flesh-eating spirit. It's al-Kul.
What is occult?
It's well, search up al-Kul. I might be somewhat wrong, but
is that
it's an
in-
Arabic word where the word ghoul comes from, and it's a flesh-eating spirit, but it sounds just like alcohol.
Oh yeah, ghoul.
Al-Kul.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you watch these homeless people walking around.
I don't.
They're talking to people. That looks like possession to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay. So last time we got into a discussion about
Do you want me to
Jesus,
spell
Yeah.
right? Which is a crazy conversation, right? Jesus Christ.
Way off.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus.
right? And it's a crazy conversation.
Yeah, body spearing.
I remember having a conversation with a certain particular person. I'm not going to say his name because I'm kind of over him. And I brought up the Bible, and he goes, "Puh, the Bible." And I go, "Oh, man, it's an interesting reaction to have to that, dude." But I know it. I recognize that because that used to be me.
Yeah, I don't like that reaction. It rubs me the wrong way now. It's like,
It doesn't rub me the wrong way. I feel for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're lost. And they're living in this id principle where it's all about pleasure.
Yeah.
And, we had this one guy on, and he was talking about the original sin of Adam and Eve. What was the original sin? And this really resonated with me. Was the belief that man could make the laws. And when you pull back, you look at what's happening in our society right now, that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, we have a bunch of man-made laws rather than living by natural law. In the Bible, it says the spirit of the Antichrist will think to change the times and the laws. And I think they've already done that. Obviously we've had a million different calendars and whatever, and we have all these different laws that make no sense. But I think there's a double meaning to that where they're literally trying to change the laws of nature. And
they're trying to change the laws of the universe.
Yeah, and they literally want to change time. Like I think that's what they're doing at CERN.
So according to Johnny, we talked nothing about gayness on the last episode for the first 15 minutes. I don't. Do you remember that?
I'm trying to find it.
Where we just talked.
Remember,
tons of gay?
it was about the cult leader who made guys blow themselves.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I remember. You're totally right.
It was
we did
15
talk
minutes
about
of gay shit.
But when you see this whole thing about where they're manipulating the trans community, where there isn't enough of them to warrant this kind of push that it's getting, and the pronouns and the men being able to compete against women, like that to me is changing the laws of the universe. And if you go back to ancient philosophies, civilization, there is the belief that everyone has yin and yang, man and woman in him. So that notion about having men having femininity in them isn't completely out of the realm. Right. There's famous stories about holy hookers in temples.
Yeah, the sacred prostitute.
And some of them were trans. And so that's an ancient religion of but the change.
The cult of Cybele, they would, castrate themselves to get closer to the mother goddess or whatever.
Isn't that, dude? That's all in.
That's
right
commitment.
There.
Yeah,
that's all in. It's
Whoa.
like, come to Jesus, cut my nuts off.
Yeah, Cybele was pretty much, I think she was like a version of Mother Earth.
Yeah.
And she gave birth to Mithras, and they were like pretty much in like a toxic love affair forever. But yeah, this ties into the whole AI thing. I just wanted to mention it really quick. Is like, so in Gnosticism you have Sophia, the mother goddess. She gives birth to the demiurge, which is like the false god. And then in Greek myth you have Gaia, which is Mother Earth, gives birth to Kronos, Saturn. And literally what I think is happening is like this is all the AI story. Like Michael Bloomberg, I think that's his name. They unearthed an ancient Mithraic temple, and he bought it and then built an entire smart building around it. One of the first buildings in the world to be completely controlled by AI, and like people's skin is censored. They can tell from their body temperature if they need food. Little robots will come bring them food so they work better. Dude, it's really ridiculous. But so like this whole thing, I feel like it's symbolic. Like this myth of Cybele giving birth to Mithras or Gaia giving birth to Kronos. I think this is a thing we're watching happen in real time, where the mother nature is literally being used to incubate this like parasitic AI machine, and we're watching it be born in real time. And that's what I think the real alien invasion is AI.
So what, do you think they planted like an egg
No,
technology and now it's growing and it's going to become an AI type of thing?
I'm speaking symbolically. Like I think what they're doing is like they're using Mother Nature as the host for AI. I mean, we're taking nature and rearranging it into like these metals and stuff, and then creating machines out of it.
I think it's all so possible and interesting. And that, it's like this whole theory I say, it's like, if you want if you're tired of Facebook censorship, get off of Facebook. So if you don't want to become part of this sentient simulation, get off this. Get off that. And that is what people are doing when they're going and grabbing their own farms and creating their own communities.
I mean, yeah. Sorry.
No. It's fine.
You've seen in 2001: Space Odyssey how the giant black cube thing kind of looks like this phone, but that's where the aliens come from. In 2001: Space Odyssey, they come from that black monolith. They actually I think in one of the, I think in the third book, they actually live inside of it or something.
It's
And they're
interesting
AI.
time.
They're AI.
What's your thoughts on Jesus?
Me?
Yeah, we had a little conversation. I'll tell you my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of like what I kind of like what Ryan says. How maybe it's just the name is like a powerful name. It's like an egregore or something. But I don't know about all that. I like the idea. I don't know if it's 100% true or not. But I choose to have faith anyways. That's what keeps me.
I think there was an entity of long time ago, whether it's, and we talked about this last night about how much, there's just history's been written, and it seems like it's been rewritten 1,000 times about a 1,000 things, and how much of it is true, But it is of my belief that there was an entity that did something very special. And that story gets retold in different cultures, in different religions, in different languages. And that doesn't mean that the story isn't real because it was told in a different way under a different language. It just means that this story is being told over and over again. So did Jesus live 2,000 years ago? I think he could live long time ago, and these are the stories that we are told by this parasite group because they don't want us to know our history.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have problems with Christianity. It's hard for me to believe. Like I said, it's too simple almost. Because, I've always said, when I was, anti-Bible and stuff, I'd drive down the street and see a billboard. It's pray to Jesus. You're not going to find the truth on a billboard. I just didn't think that was possible, But maybe it is. I don't know if, I've seemingly had prayers answered. And whether that's, placebo or manifestation, I don't know. But that's the way I go about it,
Can prayers just be
spells?
Law of attraction?
Yeah, I think that's
magic.
Yeah.
Can it be that?
Yeah,
That's what
probably all the above.
That's how I see it as. You're putting in an order to the universe. And when you dude, I'm sure I repeat myself a lot on this show, and you guys could be tired of hearing me say the same shit over and over again. But I just practice. I practice law of attraction, law of abundance, love thy neighbor with discipline, and my life changes. Is it perfect? No. And like we just said, I would be miserable if it was. Maybe I would if I was on if I was in a $20 million house with fat ass all around me, and I was living that life, and I got a black belt in Krav Maga and Shibu Inu. I got $1 billion of it. But I don't know. Maybe I might be okay. But I know eventually I'd be like, what else could I do, right? And then that becomes the chase and stuff like that.
Depends. If it was in Miami, you'd be good for a year.
I
but
think
then you would get bored. But then you would get bored.
Okay. My daughters would have to be with me. I'd have to figure out how I can have the hose and hang out with my daughters respectfully, right? I gotta figure that out, But I just feel that there is all this shit at work, and that if you just unplug from it, right? I mean, you go to a small city, no one's gonna ever fucking do vaccine passports, right?
They're happy to have people come in.
Yeah, I mean, I want to live in a city where I have 1 foot in the country, and I'm about a foot or two away from having a foot in the big city. So I can go live simple, but I also can make it so my daughters, when they want to go live and check out the big city, can go do that. That's what I want. That's what I really want to do.
Should go visit Ohio.
I can't do the cold. And I already heard Tennessee's got snow, so I'm trying to figure it out.
We told you, Sam. Tennessee's too far.
She won't do.
No Arizona.
Also, who was it in here the other day that agreed with us about Tennessee who had lived there? It was some guest we had on there. We're like, oh, you don't want to do that.
I think, dude, when you leave New York, L.A., Miami, everywhere's kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, but it was somebody who lived there for a long time.
Well, I'm going to make it what I want to make it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Like you did in L.A., right?
Yeah. Okay, Nick, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
This was a wonderful conversation. We had a great talk. You have 2 books. Real quick, check them out. Do I get to keep these?
Yeah, they're for you.
Nick, we want to start doing mystery boxes. And if you ever have books you want to split in a mystery box, we'll figure out a price and make it happen.
Okay.
He's got 2 books. Check them out. The Saturn Time Cube Simulation and the Aquarian Singularity. I'm very excited about that. Do you think the Saturn used to be the sun?
I mean, there's a lot. You know, the theories behind it make a ton of sense. You know, that there's no reason that the ancients should have known about the hexagon on the North Pole, but somehow they did. And that would imply that it must have been way closer at one point. But I honestly have no idea. I've explored the idea. I explored in that book, that first book. But yeah, I was having this conversation with my friend the other night. I was like, dude, there are so many alternative histories that make sense, and I just don't know that it really matters. You know, it's like it's not going to change my life if I believe in Tartaria, if I believe in the electric universe is a cool theory. But like the Thunderbolts project, how they talk about all the different positions of the planets and stuff, and then there's other people that say, oh no, it's the Anunnaki, or no, there's so many different theories.
Maybe it's all of it.
Right, maybe it's a multiverse with a bunch of different histories.
Where they all come here and just bang, dog.
Right.
It's like,
right.
I think it's all battle royal. That's what I'm saying. So all these religions could be right.
Yeah. I mean, and if time is an illusion and now is the only moment that exists, it's like, you know, I don't know. Maybe that's a huge cop-out. But yeah, I don't know if any of those alternative histories have to be true for, you know.
You know what I like about your book? You didn't put page numbers.
Second one does.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that he didn't put pictures.
I'm going to read this book because I can finally finish one.
Yeah, it's an easy read.
No, because I'm writing a book and I'm worried that it's going to be short, a short book, and I don't want to make money off. I want to make maybe $1 a book, but I really just want to give it away so people can hear
Are you doing like a biography?
I'm doing like the things that I've learned that have changed my life over the last like 7 years.
You got a name and everything for it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I've said it 1,000 times, but I'm not gonna say.
Yeah,
it
don't
here.
release it.
Yeah. So that's it, Nick.
Check out Wielder's Way. It's my friend's NFT project. It's on my Twitter.
What's it called? Wielder's Way.
Wielder's Way. Yeah.
Where can they find you, Nick?
NickHintonn on Twitter and Instagram. I am one of the most ambitious, unambitious people, so I still don't have a website, but I will get it done eventually.
No worry, brother. You're still super young. You're 27, 28, or 29. We don't know
whichever
yet.
one, I forget.
You have till 35 to enjoy it. Go out there, get weird, and at 35, start locking it down. Okay?
Right.
You guys how old are you, XG?
28.
28. You fucks. As I almost turned 40. Guys, thank you so much for celebrating my birthday with me. I love you all. Aww. I love you all very much. Thank you so much. This is going to be great. I hope to see you in Boise. Hope to see you in Utah and Salt Lake. Tickets are selling. Let's pack it out because Daddy's going to get weird. I have a new energy on stage. I'm really going to start leaning into just talking. And it could get TED Talk-ish with some comedy, but I think it's necessary. I love you all very much. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you soon.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tripoli. Happy birthday to you. Keep coming back.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hat.